Hello everyone and welcome back to Takagi-san Season 2 First Impressions Episode 5. The name is nothing special, but the name is not what you are here for. So the first story of this episode is Questions, based on the manga's 19th chapter, which has a title page which appears to have inspired one of the images that comes up in the OP. It's interesting that Nishikata, considering that he might be Takagi's crush, is still out of the question, but his reaction isn't quite as bombastic, suggesting that the idea is not quite as far-fetched to him as it used to be. Next is the B-plot story, Eyebrows. Pretty standard fare, besides what I believe to be a Phoenix Wright reference, but then again I don't know a thing about Phoenix Wright except that he points to things. After that we get After School, a story that centers around Yukari mostly, but I wouldn't consider it B-plot because it heavily involves Nishikata as well. This appears to be the first time in the show that we have seen Yukari or one of her friends interact with Nishikata. They have interacted with Takagi in the past, but never Nishikata. It also appears to be wholly original content, which is a massive bonus. We then move on to Happy Birthday, another wholly original story. This is the first time we've seen Nishikata's mother, and her brief amount of screen time tells us more about her than I'm willing to get into here. That'll have to come when I analyse the story. And yes, that is when, not if. It's also just a straight up great story for this point of the show and the progression of both characters. Last but certainly not least is Sneeze, based on my favourite manga chapter, 78. This is our first time seeing Hojo in the flesh, and thank goodness it appears that her voice was hammed up in the last episode. Also having Hamaguchi? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Trying to open a can of coffee was a nice tie-in to the previous episode. The only issue I have is that they kind of botched the transition from Hojo and Himaguchi to Kimura and Takeo by not having anyone mention their names before they show up. Also, if anyone's curious, chapter 108 of the manga tells us that Takeo's crush, the one he is terrified to confess to, is Sane. Of course, the last part of Sneeze being more original content is just fantastic. I wonder if the keychain will go on to be a pivotal item like the handkerchief was last season. Lastly, I noticed that the image with the ED has changed, and given that this is episode 5, it will likely do so again at least one more time. And that is it for this first impressions video. What did you think of episode 5? Let me know in the comments. If you would like to see my analysis for season 1, or my previous first impressions videos, there will be a link to both playlists in the description and the end card. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.